I'm Dwayne Kennedy, comedian, and now a new podcaster to the podcast game because you know what happened. Comedy wasn't enough. Winning an Emmy wasn't enough. Going on David Letterman wasn't enough. Doing Conan O'Brien wasn't enough. Doing Jimmy Kimmel wasn't enough. Appearing on Seinfeld wasn't enough. Doing Totally Biased wasn't enough. They said, yeah, that's all well and good, but where's the podcast? Here it is. It's called The Napsolute Truth, and I'm doing it with a dear friend of mine. I'm a comedian. She's a fantastic jazz singer, but also very, very intelligent, very smart, and very opinionated. Very smart, very opinionated, and that's why I thought she'd be great on this show, Miss Tammy X.
Hey, you guys, I am so excited to be here in support of my friend of 30 years.
It's been a minute.
Jeez Louise.
But we got to play that part down, my girl. You always say, we just met a couple weeks ago. And I said, wow, this be cool.
I don't think so. I don't think so. So what this is just us bringing our regular standard conversations to you guys. He seemed to think that you would be interested in our shenanigans. So thank you. And I hope that you enjoyed the Napsolute Truth. Dwayne.
Yes. It started like a Ike and Tina Turner song. Tina, yes, boo. Right? We know that song.
Why is it that you bring Ike into every conversation? Do I need to have a conversation with your significant other? Is she being abused? You got a T-shirt like Ike, my superhero. Is that? No.
But you know that song where it says,
yes.
Ike, yes, Tina. Please don't do that stuff.
I have something provocative to say.
Okay. I'm listening.
The Republicans are some bad mother. Let me explain.
All right.
Let me explain.
All right.
I am really astonished that consistently they find my party flat-footed.
Your party being?
The Democratic Party.
Okay.
Consistently, they are running laps around them. I mean, while we're trying to figure out what paddle to hold up, all this time, all this, and it hasn't been a lot of time.
That's when they held up paddles when Trump was making that.
I think it was addressed to Congress
or something.
He just called a meeting and, hey.
To address his insanity.
Oh my gosh. But I'm like, y'all haven't gotten into a gymnasium somewhere and just like, hey, we're all going to do. These Republicans on the Sunday shows, they all reading off the same memo. They all saying the same thing. They're all lockstep. It's unbelievable. While we trying to figure out, we're just excited that, we had a peaceful transition of power. A peaceful transition to chaos?
Right.
Why weren't you somewhere scaling a wall?
Yeah.
You've been telling us for 4 years that this is going to be the end of the world, the end of democracy.
Yeah, I mean, right. And the fact that a lot of those Democrats go to gyms that have those walls so they're in shape to be able to climb them. You're right about that, my girl. Why? Yeah, and right. What were they holding up? What was that supposed to be when he was speaking?
What were they holding up?
Like fans of pickleball? I like pickleball. And then some of them were wearing like pink. Remember that? Some of the Democrats had on pink outfit where the women had on pink dresses.
I don't know. What, like when they had when Trump was little coochie hats? Is that different?
Well, I don't know, but I'm just saying they had some of the Democratic women, the Congress people.
I stopped watching it.
I didn't watch it at all. I just saw some clips, but I heard they had on some pink. Like I said, they had the pickleball paddles. Hey, if we ever see you on a pickleball court, we're gonna fuck you up. You know what I mean? Donald Trump, just so you know that we're serious. And then some of them had on the pink outfits, which I guess represents, feminism or I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, whatever it is, just be on the same page. I mean, I know we're not a monolith. I know that we, as Democrats, don't all think the same way.
Why are you still a Democrat?
I don't know. Goddamn, that's what I'm saying. Why? Why would you convince me? Why would convince me why I should still be?
Right. Or shouldn't we be independent?
Independent of what?
Apparently reality.
Man, I'm telling you, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
But I'm saying independent of being of an allegiance to any particular party that can just take a presumed black person who's a Democrat for granted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, don't put me in that boat. I'm independent. You know what I mean? I might support. I don't know who you could support. Jill Stein is a lunatic.
Oh my God, Dwayne.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I feel so lost. I feel like I'm just drifting aimlessly, and all I can do is position myself not to be hurt or affected by either one of them.
Well, there you go. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that becomes a coalition. People who pull out and then, bond with each other, and then that sort of becomes the coalition, because like you said, I mean, what do Democrats do? But this is what I think. I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be anything the Democrats do to galvanize Democrats. It's going to be the eventual destruction of the Republican Party based on their procedures and policies, because the way they're going is unsustainable.
You are obviously not paying attention.
Why you say that?
It's done. The Republican Party isn't disintegrated. They've decided what they believe in, and it's racism.
Well,
That's their double down.
But I'm saying though,
and the comrade Trump and his
right. But I'm saying their procedure. Forget what you call them. The way they're proceeding is unsustainable, in my opinion. Because at some point, when you're just as flagrant as we're going to cut, they've cut 80,000 jobs in no, not the IRS. I mean, they all the jobs that they're cutting. Eventually, even the people who once supported them, they're going to be like, look, I voted for you, not the cult members. They don't care. They're going to follow Trump over a cliff. But that's where he's headed, to the cliff. But some of them are going to say, hey, I voted for you for cheaper eggs and cheaper gas, and now I don't even have a job. Because of you, now I don't even have a job at all. They're going to be in the streets. Republican, or Democrat, former Democrats, independents, disappointed ex-Republicans.
You're so hopeful. I don't think that's. I don't believe that's going to happen at all. It'll be a pleasant surprise.
Luigi Mangionis out there. You think he's the last person that's going to be? They just caught a cat the other day at the White House with a pistol.
Really?
Yeah, I saw this morning.
I'm sorry, I stopped watching the news. I just see once in a while I turn on the television and see, because now the news isn't even the news. The news is like the Trump reality show. So I'm like, this is the United States of America. All over the world there's millions of things going on all over the world, and all they do is talk about Trump 24 hours a day.
Right.
It's so exhausting and so stupid.
Yeah. And
so I mean, and they're talking to a bunch of Democrats like, what did you think about what Trump did today? Well, we're really going to support, our constituents. You ain't got no constituents.
Yeah.
You are not even your own constituent.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to get worse, but at some point I think people will reach a breaking point. That's what I believe. I mean, even this system has to break. That's what has to happen.
It's already broken. I mean, this isn't democracy.
No, but has it ever been democracy, really?
Well, you have to. I cannot look at it just in my own mind's eye, right? So democracy as a practice, this perception. Of democracy.
It's like the Matrix.
Exactly, yeah. Right? So it's all we can do is operate off of perception. But the perception, there is no more rule of law.
No.
There is no more fact-based engagement.
No.
And that's it. I mean, you have to have a set of facts that we all agree to in order to move forward in a democracy, and you have to have the rule of law, all of which has been undermined in 4 years. It's fascinating.
Well, but then right. Well, I think I mentioned this before, but they said when Hitler was elected Chancellor of Germany, it took him 52 days to end the democratic system in Germany. Mm-hmm. So, but then the other side of it is, as black folks, as far as fascism goes, we've been living under a fascist rule since we got here, since they brought black people here. You know what I mean? As far as being over-policed, hyper-policed. Black folks have always lived under a fascist rule, telling you where you can go, what you can be, what you can think. Black people, indigenous, when somebody comes in and says, you can't worship whatever God you have to worship this one. You can't speak whatever language you have to speak this one. That is fascism. And that's always existed here, always. It's now white folks are getting a taste of the fascism.
That's so interesting. If you think about it, a lot of this really blossomed out of COVID. Because for the most part, that constituency was able to do what they want to do, go where they wanted to go, say what they wanted to say.
COVID and Trump. That
intersection.
Yeah.
That's
because the way
interesting.
Trump dealt with COVID. Because if Trump had just got in front of him and said, listen, there's a virus going around, mask up, this, that, no problem. But he took it, which is, I think, just
he
indicative
took it personally, like, you're not going to tell me what to do.
You're not going to tell me what to do. And I think just his psychology, his pathology is almost like he took a virus, just the fact that a virus would break out as a personal failing. And he can't bear to think of himself as a failure, which it wasn't a failing. It's just a virus has happened. When Barack was...
And then to have somebody to blame.
And have somebody to blame. But when Barack was president, it was SARS, whatever. Viruses happen. And then you got to do this, to mitigate the virus. No problem. But with him, it's like a virus came out. They're going to blame me. I'm not, So rather than deal with it.
Let's act like it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Remember that? Oh, don't worry about it. It'll be over by Easter, like a miracle. What are you talking about? So he's the worst person to have in charge at the worst possible time. Even
now, there's some type of outbreak of the measles in
Texas.
Yeah,
the measles. Yeah.
And they stopped all of the communications between the CDC? The CDC and all the nationwide.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild. It's like the Twilight Zone.
It is. I mean, and he is so inept and incompetent and dumb and stupid but here's the thing. So am I. I'm all those things. But on top of those things, don't be arrogant. Do you know what I mean? Don't be dumb and arrogant. You know what I mean? Don't be stupid and malicious. Do you know? That's where it becomes lethal. And like you said, what you were talking about earlier, dangerous. That's when it becomes dangerous. Hey, everybody's ignorant, but don't be ignorant and malicious. You know what I mean? Don't be ignorant and arrogant.
It's really going to be fascinating to just watch how the Democrats reimagine themselves, how they reconnect. I mean, they are just right now just screaming into the abyss. And I mean, I tell you, I'm as annoyed when I see their faces on television as I'm annoyed when I see the Republicans. And that's something new. And so I don't know how I'm going to process.
But maybe that's what it has to get to again, that like-minded folks start to pull away, like I said, and create some sort of a different coalition with different aims and procedures, Anyway, let's talk about, I like to go hot air ballooning.
You are so white. Why would you
I wouldn't want to
get into a dangerous fire-filled basket, wicker basket, and put your life into it?
You know what? No, I wouldn't. But, they said, I saw this. First of all, I love, like, TikTok and all those things, man. Some of it is, legit information. Some of it is like just some cat.
Just really funny.
Yeah, just making stuff up. TikTok hustle, I could do that. Did you know that in 1819? I didn't know that, and apparently you don't either. But they said the first person in this country to fly was this actually a brother in like 18 something who created a hot air balloon. And when you think about it, of course a black person in the 1800s would be trying to fly out of this motherfucker. Yeah, I'm trying to fly out of here. I think he first tried, he just ran off a cliff and flapped his arm. I got to get the fuck out of here. Then I think he came up with a hot air balloon or something.
I don't understand all of that, like daredevil stuff. Like, what is that thing when you're on a wire and you swing and you like
zip line?
You wouldn't catch me in a zip line going under the water and scuba.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
I tell you something that
why skiing? You kill yourself.
Driving in Cicero.
Driving on the Dan Ryan. I don't drive on the Dan Ryan anymore.
You know
Too
what?
many shootings.
And the Dan Ryan thanks you. All of the Dan Ryan said, "Thank you, Tammy."
Hey, I'm just saying, I drive like my dad. I was like,
how was that?
Like I have a little light on top of my car.
That you
like I'm a police officer and I can just go and do whatever I want, drive however I want.
Are you driving like somebody with a cat laser? You know how they have this laser and the cat make the cat chase it?
No, I mean
yeah, the road is yours.
The road is mine.
And some of the sidewalk.
And some of the sidewalks.
Well,
yes, it is.
But I was going to tell you, what was I going to tell you? It made me think about, dang it. What were we talking about?
We were talking about, what were we talking about?
Black folk.
Young people with young brains.
I know what it was. My girl.
What?
And,
I say what I want to say. I can say what I want to say when I want to say it.
Yeah, I know you can't, Grandma Moses, but listen.
Shut up!
What were we talking about?
Makes me so
you
sick.
get older and older.
Why are you always breaking my balls, though?
That's fun.
See, this is what it's like.
Yeah, but okay. The thing that has always intrigued me, I don't know if I'll ever do it, I probably won't, is you've seen these cats with these wingsuits.
Oh, man. That's insane.
Woo! That looks so cool. But let me tell you this story.
Yeah, dying. Bow!
Well, there was this cat named Jeb Corliss. Jeb Corliss was I don't say was, he's like a stunt guy, and he does wingsuits and base jumping and all that stuff, right?
That's crazy.
He said one day, he and his dear friend Dwayne, they were going to go wingsuiting, right? So he said there was something about that day. It was just, something was just off. Something just, was off. He said, but, let's go. Let's go and do this. Because, you got to give this to white folks. Whether it's off or not off, they're going to push through.
Man.
You know what? Stealing these people's country don't seem like the right thing to do, but let's finish doing it. We'll talk about it later. After we steal it, then we'll feel bad about it. But we're going to take this country. So he said, like I said, something just didn't feel right. We're going to go through with it. So they get the wingsuits on, and I think and this is what they were going to do. The plan that day was, there was this bridge. And the plan was, okay, I'm going to fly. I think Jeb was going to fly over it. My man Dwayne was going to fly under it. That was the plan. So all day, something just didn't feel right. But again, you got to give this. White folks going to complete the mission. I don't feel good about it, but let's do it. They jump out. They're flying, wingsuiting, heading toward the bridge. Jeb flies over the bridge like, man, my man Dwayne, boom! Right into the bridge at about 100 miles an hour. That brother exploded. Yeah. So he doesn't fly anymore. But so that kind of diminished my enthusiasm with a cat named Dwayne, like such as myself. He spelled it the same way, not the way Dwayne Wade spells his name, which is wrong. But Also, he had a wingsuit.
Dwayne.
Yeah, his name is spelled like Dwayne. It's like Dwyane. That doesn't spell Dwayne, it spells Dwayne. But anyway. So he flew into the bridge. And I'm saying that to say that diminished my enthusiasm. It
took that to diminish your enthusiasm.
Sometimes
not jumping off a cliff in a bird suit.
No, sometimes it takes a white flying into a bridge to make you rethink some things.
A wise man learns from another man's mistakes.
I learned from my man's.
And I am deuces. I'm going to sit here on the beach.
Yeah, we don't need
with some libation and...
We don't need two Dwaynes exploding.
No, we don't.
Well, what is the riskiest thing you ever did, like physically?
My husband convinced me to do this, like, scuba thing.
Whoa, you did?
So... there's this thing at these resorts where in the old days of scuba diving, they put this, it was a suit, and they put this big round thing on your head and they twist it on, right? So, following that premise, they have this, they're going to take you down about 20 feet, and
Where
they have, I think Mexico.
Okay.
And so they have this, not amusement park, but they have this thing laid out for you where you're gonna hold onto the railing, and here comes some sea turtles, and here comes this fish, and underwater. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
they made like a little park underwater, and you're just gonna follow along, and they're gonna push this in front of you, and they're gonna push that, and there's people there.
Did they push any like dead cartel people? Okay, I digress. My fault.
So, the thing is that it's a air suction. So, it's going to put it on your shoulders, and the suction is going to keep all of this clear, and the water is supposed to stay here. Whatever type of scientific shit they done did to figure this shit out, I don't know. But come on, this will be fun. I really don't want to, baby. It's okay. I really don't want to do that. No, come on, it'll be fun. And they're telling me, oh no, it's really easy. It's no. Blah, blah, blah. Did I mention I can't swim? I can't swim. So it's like, come on, it'll be fun. It's so easy. Blah blah blah. So they put the thing on me, and I'm going down the stairs. And the water is here, and so all this is open, right? So I'm going down the stairs. I start walking along the ramp. You can look up and see there's water. You can see the light, but it's like really far up there. So I'm walking along, and as I'm walking, I'm like, and this is the water coming up to my neck. And I'm like, and so there's a guy down there that you can like communicate to if you have a problem, like you do like a thing. Yeah. Hey, I have a problem. And I'm like, and I'm trying not to like really move too much because it's like, ding, 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 ding. And I'm like, I have a problem. And I'm waving. And so Naeem is like, he sees me. Oh, sorry. My husband sees me, and he's like, hey, she needs help. And so this guy walks up to me, and by now the water's here.
Whoa!
And I'm like, I want to go.
To panic?
I want to go up. And so I'm looking up like, if I take this thing off, can I hold my breath long enough to get up there? Now, I can't swim.
I was gonna say.
I've never been this deep in the water in my life, and here's the water. And I'm like, I want to go up. And the guy grabs my thing, and he's like, you're okay. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And he was like, you're okay. And so he's like, straighten your back. So he has me like, apparently it was a posture issue. The fuck? It was a posture issue. Stand up straight. Straighten your back. Why did somebody tell me this when I was 20 feet up with this motherfucker?
You can't be deep sea diving with scoliosis.
Oh my God. Straighten your back. So I straighten my back, and it goes down here. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I got you. Don't worry. Let's just keep going. I'm like, I really don't want to do that. I really just want to go. He's like, you're okay. Okay. And I'm like, okay. Oh, wow. So I'm holding on. And I think it's like, we're almost finished. And I'm like, I'm in a flop sweat right now just thinking about this shit. And so he's like, we're going. And And so then here comes a sea turtle. I'm like, get the fuck away from me, sea turtle. I don't want to talk to you, Mr. Sea Turtle. And so they're like, take a picture. I'm like, and there's a picture. They like take a camera and they put the two helmets together, and I'm like,
like when those kids crying on the other side.
oh my God. We call this National Lampoon's Second Honeymoon. I tell you. Everything about that was you gotta
bring that picture in.
Oh my God, it was so crazy.
I gotta see that.
And so I finally made it to the top. I mean, everything was terrible. Let's ride a horse. I don't want to ride a horse. Let's do this. Let's take the horse into the ocean. They can swim. Can they really? I can't swim. And then the horse is teetering up.
And how's the horse supposed to save you?
Oh my God, it was the worst.
So you did a lot of risky things.
It was the worst. For the very last time, fooling around with that man of mine. For the very last time.
Wow.
No more.
So, man, but that was pretty brave of you, though. You know, water, man, I can't swim either. I mean, I don't, put it this way. I do not swim well enough to tell people I can swim. I cannot swim.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I don't want nobody throwing me in the ocean. I didn't know that brother he said he could swim. That's why I threw him in. You know what I mean? I know he meant swim to the bottom. No, that's a woo. That made me, man. So once you straightened up, you know what? Metaphorically, that's our issue with white folk. When we straighten up, we won't be drowning. Looking straight in the eye. We got to straighten up. That was a good one, Tammy.
Straighten up and fly right. You got that right.
Yeah.
You got that right.
Yeah. Straighten up and fly right. Yeah, straighten up, man. That was a good one. That was an allegory for life. Got to straighten up. That made me feel better. Your dying almost helped me out.
Well, you learn from another man's mistakes.
Boy.
So that mistake.
So, let me ask you this. Would there be any other thing of physical endeavor that you might entertain doing? Like you fly all the time. Here's the thing. People sometimes are inadvertently brave. You know what I mean? Because there's some people who would never fly. You fly all the time.
Yeah, that's true. With all these plane crashes
and near misses. Ever since the maniac got back in the office.
Getting on the plane overseas was just a leap of faith, and that's all you can do every day.
Because you flew all the way to Switzerland, didn't you?
All you can do is just be faithful. I saw a lady on Tickety Talk. She came up to the plane and took out some praying oil and put some praying oil on the plane and like, okay, Lord, it's me and you. Let's go. I thought that was so funny. But really, that's all it's about. I mean, if it's gonna happen up there, it'll happen down here, so it'll be a little bit more terrifying. But just keep it moving.
But I always find that sort of I won't say ridiculous, but when people like do that thing about, what they say, God takes you in God's time if there's God. But the thing is, if you're on a plane, why, you know what I mean?
What if it's this motherfucker's time?
Yeah, right. And now we all got to go because it's your time?
Because it's Joe's time?
I never got that. And now you mad at him all the way down. Nigga, how come you didn't live your life better? Now I got to go? I ain't gonna make it to Thanksgiving dinner. You know what I mean? Just because you was at an orgy last night?
That's funny.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
That's funny, Dwayne. You should do that for a living. You should be a comedian.
You know what, Tammy? That's funny you should say that. But first I'm going to do a podcast, and then I'm going to start a catering business, and then I'm going to make shoes, and then I'm going to run a marathon. And then that way you'll know that I do comedy. That's how it works nowadays.
Dwayne the Cobbler.
What's up, everybody? Who likes shoes? You ever notice how, you wanted the one with the heel? Listen, life is a trip. Hold on, size 8, right? Life. Oh boy, yikes! It's bad. I would say bad enough. Do you sell merch at your shows?
No.
You gotta start selling merch, Tammy. I sell T-shirts. I'm selling this one after our show. I'm gonna try to sell it to you.
Thank you. We should have some T-shirts.
We're gonna have everything. We got merch coming.
We have merch. We have T-shirts and coffee cups.
We're gonna have all of that.
Comrade Trump.
Yeah. The Napsolute Truth do-rags.
Okay. Oh, Napsolute Truth what are those things? Bonnets.
Bonnets.
We'll have an Absolute Truth bonnets.
But what was I telling you? What was I talking about? Oh, bravery. Are you brave?
I'm afraid so.
You're afraid that you are brave?
Yeah.
Why you say afraid so?
I feel like there are some people that are like,
I am not
like
brave.
running to burning buildings, that type of brain, and I'm like,
Would you do that?
I put myself in very interesting situations, but it's usually due to advocacy. I mean, and that's why I said I think so. I'm not sure. So it's like
you could do something on somebody's behalf more so than you would even do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like,
I cannot do something for myself or on somebody's behalf. I'm not doing anything for anybody, including myself. That's how much of a punk I am.
Oh my goodness.
That Dwayne Kennedy, he's a profile in cowardice.
No.
The bravest thing I ever did was get on a stage. That's you know what I mean? Just come up on the stage.
That's interesting. I guess when I think
I'm
about
shy.
bravery, yeah. When I think about, that thing about knees knocking, that's a real thing. When they're like, your knees knock. I think people don't know that's a real thing.
Okay, so
I mean, at least I've had that experience.
I was gonna say,
so I don't see going on stage as being brave. I see it as like, I see it as making a connection.
Wait a minute. So you saying that you have never been afraid to go on stage?
Oh yeah. But I mean, but I don't. Being afraid to be on stage is really just about, will they dig what I'm doing? Well, it's ego.
Yeah.
I see that as me being caught up in my own ego rather than focus on the music, focus on being a craftsman, and executing your pathway like you're supposed to. I mean, I'm very adamant about I'm adamant about being a craftsman and getting better.
Absolutely. I think I don't want to speak for you. That's the beautiful thing I think about art and being an artist, is that the journey never ends. There's always things to learn and discover.
Yeah.
What's the most afraid you've ever been on a stage though?
The most afraid I've ever been on a stage. I would have to say, as a young person, I sang classical music. And I sang my first opera when I was like 15 years old.
Oh, wow.
And in this particular opera, I'm on stage the entire time. So I'm singing with the chorus. I'm singing with other people. I have a duet with this person, duet with that person, trio, but I'm on the stage the entire time,
Oh, wow.
And so that would have been, I think, my scariest moment of like, can I do this?
Yeah, you had to carry the whole show.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I know that I had to have the stamina. And then fast forward to my first time, moving into the jazz realm was also really kind of nerve-wracking. But I mean, I always had really great mentors who really centered me and had me focus on what was important, which was always the music. Serve the music, you can't go wrong.
Okay. Well, that's great. I mean, we'll talk about it. I want to come back to this, but we won't have time today because we're going to wrap it up. But listen, everybody, I appreciate you all listening to the Napsolute Truth, and hopefully you will like and subscribe, and we'll be available wherever you get your podcasts or wherever you get your rumors or hearsay. I don't know where that is, but join us. We'll be back, God willing, next week, and we will tell you about some things that are on our mind, and that's the Napsolute Truth.